Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode, a very special episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, here with our little Star Wars festive holiday display, which I've put on, and shown you on previous videos. But today I'm going to kind of show you all about our Advent calendars. Yes, that's right. The biggest thing in our family that we really love to do is to celebrate the anticipation of the holiday. So we do that with Advent calendars. Now, for those who don't know what these are, Advent calendars are these lead-up calendars. They're usually about 24 little boxes, little, doors, things that you open up one at a time, beginning on December 1st and leading all the way up to Christmas Day. Because my family, we travel on Christmas Day. We travel down to Florida to visit our daughter. We are not, we don't do much in the way of Christmas gifts itself. And we did a lot of that growing up and when my daughter was younger and when my wife and I were first married, but we just figured that, we just love the holiday so much, but we don't really need the gift giving. It's not something that we give some gifts to nieces and nephews and that type of thing. But for us, we just kind of like to celebrate the holiday in general and all of the wonderful anticipation that leads up to it. So there has been quite a few licensed Advent calendars over the years that come out every year, and there have been some new ones that we've done. So if you've watched previous videos, particularly around the holiday season, you've seen a few of these. We also have gotten, obviously, some non-Star Wars related Advent calendars and utilized them as well. Two that we got this year that were really nice is I got my wife a mindfulness one, which is essentially just a jar with 24 specific things to think about with being, related to being mindful. Just helpful things to help practice mental health and try to de-stress around the holidays, which I thought was a really nice thing, and she likes that very much. We also have kind of an escape room type of calendar, which is basically it's a bunch of puzzles that kind of lead through a story. We actually haven't really started that one yet, and we don't know if we're going to be doing it day by day. We'll probably end up doing it a few clues each day, when we have time, because it is a busy time of year. But of course, this is not a channel about that. This is a channel about the Star Wars ones, so why don't we get right to it? Okay, so the first one we have is actually not a Christmas related Advent calendar. It is a Life Day. It is the Star Wars Life Day pop-up book and Advent calendar. All right. Now, what I like about this is that it celebrates the Advent, it calls Life Day Star Wars, basically Star Wars Christmas, and it leads up to it. This is an officially licensed Lucasfilm and Disney product. It's a book that you can get. I think it's still available on Amazon. But unlike sometimes there have been a lot of fan-made Life Day things that stick to the actual holiday itself, which is, I think, November 17th. So they just have maybe 10, 15, 17 items in November leading up to it. But since we tend to celebrate the Christmas holiday, this is definitely something more leading up to Christmas. Because they have this beautiful art, this beautiful drawing, with the really cool stylized Wookiees in their Wookiee robes. Okay, if you know, you know. If you've seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, and as you open up each one like that, this first one you have a kind of a short little storybook, and I'm not going to go through each one, but I'll show you. It kind of gives you an introduction, and then for Star Wars Life Day number 1, it kind of talks about, gives you some comic book, Marvel, Life Day number 1 information. And it's actually an interesting story that I didn't know they had made a Life Day comic, so I definitely, unless it's just something that Marvel's doing. Now, I don't know how many of these that they're doing. It just kind of talks about it in general and gives you some other information. But as you can see, it's a pop-up book. I don't know if I'll be able to open this up here. Hold on a second. Okay, it folds down like that, and then here's the cover. Oops, sorry. And you open it up, and you get this nifty tree, and you hang ornaments on it. So they're basically little Life Day orbs. Some of them have little pictures on them. So these are so I'm actually 2 days behind. So I was gonna get, here's 2, here's 3. This is for December 3rd. Oh, you got this little cute Look at this little cute R2. I absolutely adore this kind of idea. And this is definitely something that I will do every year because it's very easy to put the items back in. It doesn't really matter what number you put each one in. Okay, so let's continue on with 3. Ooh. Of course, they are cardboard, so you've got to make sure that you get them open. Okay, this is, I think we have a nice little stylized Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and they have like the orb. Again, recently, Disney has taken to have a, making the Life Day canon. So now there's all this official stuff, even though the holiday special where the Life Day idea came from is much reviled and not very well respected. But as you can see here, they have taken the Life Day idea and marketed it, so that's pretty cool. So that's our first one. Okay, next up we have the Funko Pop Advent Calendar, right? And they all kind of work, these all kind of work in a similar way. They kind of look like this little place for you to stand them up. And we've already done 2. We have, I believe our R2-D2 has, with the little antlers, came first. And we have our little Darth Maul snowman that has come next. He doesn't like to stand up on his own though. He might fall over. So I'm gonna put him on his head right now. Okay, let's try number 3. It's nice that they're all like actual Funko Pops, which is great. Looks like we have this looks like just a standard Boba Fett, but it does look like he's got a little red and white color scheme to give him a more Christmassy feel. So that's 3. And I'm one day behind, so let me do number 4. Unfortunately for these things, it's like, this one's a little painful because it's a hard cardboard, and every time you push through it, it kind of pokes your skin. Oh, C-3PO in holographic form. So obviously some of them are actual holiday related, whilst others are not. So at the time of this recording, we are on December 4th. So I will kind of hold off on the rest of these until we get, day by day. All right, so that's the Funko Pop one. Let's see what's next. Now this might look like just an ordinary sand crawler decorated with Christmas lights, but it is in fact a cardboard packaging, and it is in fact a advent calendar. As you can see, it's got a little place for you to display everything. This is finally Disney proper has gotten into this by creating a droid builder, okay, or a droid factory, droid factory advent calendar. So I've already opened up 2 days 1 and 2, and you can see I have 2 pieces of a droid, an arm and a body. First came the torso, then came the leg. So I think we'll know. We're gonna go to December 3rd, and I think we're gonna know what's next. Yeah, I can tell by feeling it. I have another leg. There it is. And we put it together. And, ooh, piece came off. And there we go. Now, I don't know if it's either going to be a 3rd leg or a dome for the 4th. So I need to find. Now, this one's interesting because you got to find it. It's kind of like oh, there it is. Ah, yes, we have a dome. Okay, so I think this is a complete droid, perhaps, and there might be a foot later. I'm not sure. So there we go. We have a holiday-esque themed droid. I have an affinity for holiday-themed droids because one of my favorite albums growing up was, in fact, the Star Wars Christmas in the Stars holiday album, which utilized a really cool piece of Ralph McQuarrie art with all these droids working in Santa's workshop, which I love. So what I'm going to do in this one, these droids are going to get a very special place once they're built. I'm going to place them in my gingerbread house. And oh, what is this gingerbread house, you may ask? Well, if you need to know, watch a previous episode because you will find it there. And I will keep adding the droids to there. So that is this. Now there's another question that comes up sometimes before I get to the last one. There might be another question from time to time, and that is, what do you do with all of this when it's done? Well, in the case of you of course do have the option of taking it apart and put it all back into the box and then reopening it next year. And in case of the Life Day one, since it's a simple ornament hanging up thing, that's certainly an option. But for things like this one and the one I'm going to do at the end, that could be a little bit challenging. So I have another option. Using your items for your gingerbread display is always a good one for you. But here's another one that I would recommend. These are little ornaments that I made using, this was a character, the little Admiral Akbar. I can't remember the name of the company, but it was these little tiny micro little characters. So I did a little crafting and I made it into an ornament. I took a little ribbon, got a clamshell ornament, put some snow in there, glued little Akbar to the floor, and there we go. And later I'm going to actually do some more of these and put them all together in a way that's a little unique, and I'll share that in a future video. But this is a great way to utilize these. You can put them all together, you can decorate your tree with them, you can give them away as little extra gifts hanging off of other gifts, or just gifts themselves. So there we go. And last but certainly not least is the one that started it all, the one that got the idea of doing this well before anyone else did, and that was Lego having the Star Wars Advent Calendar. This has got to be the 9th or 10th, maybe longer. And what it does is each day there's you open it up, you have either little small ones to put in, like here's an example of day 1. It was a nice Republic fighter, but just a small one with a few of the dozen pieces or so, and you put it together, but it still looks like the machine, like the vehicle itself. So that's cool. And sometimes, like for day 2, you get a minifig. And this is, of course, a clone trooper. And I love the fact that you get minifigs. I lobby to do like they did with Funko and to have them all be minifigs because people love minifigs so much. They are small, and the Star Wars minifigs are almost a collectible similar to action figures. So I think that would be a real sell to just have an advent calendar with just minifigs. But the little toys are fine too. And if you look up on the back of my wall there, you might see some other ornaments that I made similar to the Admiral Akbar one. And they're actually Lego pieces in there as well. So I've made those as well. I have to use bigger ornament for that. So, all right, so I'm 2 behind. So let's find day 3. Okay, there's day 3. I'm gonna get 3 and 4 out together. So this is a piece. I'm not gonna put it together on camera. I'll put it together off camera. Okay, but let me find 4. There's 4. Okay, so we have 2 items here. All right, so we'll do a quick flash forward here. Okay, so this was day 3. Looks like some kind of a radar dish or something. Sometimes it's hard to pick out what they are. And then day 4 looked like a ship of some sort. I think it might have been Moff Gideon's kind of ship. So there you go. So no minifigs on this one, but as you can see, there's usually like 6 to 8 of them for each one. So again, when we get done with it, so what do? I like to put these into little ornaments. Probably do the same thing. Sorry, forgive my napkins there. I'll probably do the same thing with the Funko ones. The droid ones will end up on my gingerbread kits each year that I make, and for the Life Day ones we reuse. So that'll do it for today's episode, talking about Advent calendars. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification, do all the other stuff. Check me out for more holiday goodness coming up in the next few episodes. Until next time, have a happy holiday, and may the force and the toys be with you.